Yo, yo, yo. Look at all these beautiful people already lined up, already waiting. Opie, Sport Brand, Armitage. What's up, brother? Jake the Great, the Jamaican, Edge of the South, Man Against the Masses. What up? The GD Bacon. Okay, past my bedtime. Yes, it is. Dang, I left y'all waiting in here for too long. My apologies. Me and what's up, Mike Larson? Always with the American flag. What's up, John Rice? Dirt McGirt, what's cracking? Um, Evening Dark and BCLG. First person to type in BCLG gets a cookie mailed to them. Ground shipping. Too many choices. What up, Lego Man? What up? So we're going to go ahead and start, and we have a very special guest, someone who's been on our stream twice. Now this is their third time, so grab your butt cheeks and get ready for a ride, because this stream we are going to talk how to make a full auto magic machine gun. Nah. Okay, so funny thing is the first thing I do is I start the stream naturally, and then I name it, and I was like, you know what? I should do better. So I changed it, and I named it to How to Make a Machine Gun. And then
You evil bastard.
I know, can you believe it? And then naturally, I do what I always do. I click, it says monetize or not monetize. I click monetize, and it said monetization not available. But crazy thing is I just refreshed, and it actually says that we are. Hold on. Let me see. I'm almost like, it can't be.
Well, just wait a few minutes. I'll take care of that.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually, funny enough, you know what I'm going to do? I am gonna... Yep, this is for you, BWE. Boom. Boom. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to love this. So thanks to Toxic Patch Co. and thanks to really everybody in our little group, our thumbnail is now the BWE patch that at some point will be available on Black Swan Tactical. But yeah,
One of these days.
I'll show you here. It's in a stand, but yeah, there you go. That's your Uzi patch. Dang it, I can't see. That's what happens when you need to plug in your phone. You know, you're kind of limited in your mobility. Okay, so well, thank you for joining us, Mr. The Hoff. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the fine people know who you are.
I'm Richard Hoffman, and I own BWE. Where is it? There it is. BWE Firearms. And I'll be a gunsmith.
I'll be a gunsmith.
I'll be a gunsmith.
Just turning machines. What kind of guns do you make and build and work
Full
on?
auto stuff. Uzis.
Yeah.
Uzis.
Yeah,
Stan. There's my 1100 short barrel.
Oh, yeah. I believe
fun.
that's not your dad's 1100.
That's not your freaking dad's 1100.
Yeah, at least not that we know of.
Actually, it's funny how many it is your dad's 1100s I've made into that.
That's true. That's
And
true.
we actually save their barrel. I get a new barrel, chop the new barrel down, and then they got both.
Nice. So you could run an 18.5 inch, 20 whatever inch. Yeah, I guess there's no regulations against like I could throw. So I had a 12 inch like on the dot. Like the magazine tube was about an inch past the muzzle.
Mm-hmm.
4+1 Remington 870. That was I mean, I loved it. Vented and ribbed. It had a fiber optic sight that I put on it. It was a beaut. And I actually did it myself. Did a conversion myself. I Form 1'd it and chopped the barrel, polished it, re-blued it, cold blued it, and whatever. And there's no rule. I could throw an 18.5 inch barrel on that. I don't have it anymore. I sold it, but I could throw an 18.5 inch barrel on there and run that without a problem, right?
Right. As soon as you take the short barrel off and put a over or 18-inch or over barrel, it's no longer a short barrel shotgun.
Yeah. Anyone, is switching my AR's gas block to an adjustable gas block difficult?
No.
Yeah, not. So I would say no. Hoff would say no, but it really depends on your two things. I'd say it depends on your familiarity with the platform, and it also depends on what kind of gas block that you have on. If you have one that is,
You have one of those military pinned ones, they suck.
Yeah, that's and it's doable, right? But if they call those bomb proof, so if they're bomb proof, they're likely going to be Vash Matrix and a punch and a hammer proof. But it's up to you, man. If you can, what's up, Zach Carr, Toxic Patch Co. in the house? Check out that thumbnail, brother. If you just have like the Allen key one that's screwed on, you can pop it off like that. If you have an A-post front sight, then you have to drag the pins out and replace it.
And they're a bitch.
Yes, they are. It's a cheap PSA. Do you have an A-post front sight? Like an A-post front? That's the only way I know how to explain it. I know, I'm like thinking like I could grab this.
See if I got enough length.
Okay, so it's a free floater.
You got one of them?
Yeah, that's an.
Those are the bastards.
Yeah, because those, what they do is they actually drill indents into the barrel like AK style, and then they fit it over. Those are typically what, 0.750 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, they. I mean, they're literally done exactly how AK front sight gas blocks are done, and then they pin them into those, tight little booty holes. But if it's from PSA and it's a free float handguard, then it's just going to be Allen keys.
A couple of Allen screws.
Yep.
Slide it right off, slide the new one on. Just make sure you get it lined up right.
Yeah. Now, sometimes at PSA, they actually do apply like red Loctite or even Roxette. So you may want to heat it up a little bit, like a tad. Just put it in the oven for an hour on 450. Just kidding. Do not do that. But if you heat it up a little bit, it'll be easier to take the screws off. So the Hoff BWE firearms. How long have you been a gunsmith?
Since 80, officially since 80, 86, I think. I think I graduated Pennsylvania Gunsmith School in 86.
Jiminy crickets.
Started in 85. 85? Yeah, 85.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. And a year later, Dark Mavis was born.
Fuck you. Just fuck you.
Sorry. But I mean, I commend the amount of time that you've been doing this, man. It's nuts. And what would likely take me days and days and days would only take you minutes. So I applaud you, my friend. let's talk about some of the shat you got in the background.
Okay.
What you got?
Look, I got shit in the background.
You do. Actual feces and guns.
Yeah. No, I got feces in my bag here.
I thought about that right as you said it.
I got it in my bag here.
Oh, man. Hey.
Yeah, I'm shitting in a bag at this point.
None of you make fun of his sack, okay?
Yeah.
All of our viewers just left. No, I'm kidding.
Because people keep bitching at me because I don't carry a gun. It's like, I carry a bag of shit. What do you know? You goddamn right I'm chasing somebody down with a bag of shit and they're going to eat it.
All you need is your utility knife and just cut it open.
Oh, I don't need the utility knife. I can just grab that bag and rip it right off and chase somebody down with it.
Wouldn't that hurt?
No, it's just the bag all comes off. And then I got a pooper hole in my belly. The bag's just glued on. I change it at least once a week.
Okay, so aside from the Kimmel, what's up? Dark, you need to mandate that all of your followers have the jabby jab. Hold on, let's go back.
Jabby jab.
Protect the unjabby jab, or else they cannot watch the stream. You know what, Kimball? You're right. I think I'm gonna hire you. That's pretty dope. Is that
jabby jab?
Oh, is that for a certain PewTuber?
This?
Oh no. I thought that was something else.
No, this is from a oh God, what is it?
1903 A1?
No, hell no. This is 1820s.
Fudge, brownie.
Originally a flintlock, and then it was converted to percussion in 1840. Yeah, this was when they were serious, and they used triangle bayonets.
Yeah,
because it's hard to stitch a triangle hole shut.
Yeah.
So you bleed out much better.
Yeah. Much better.
That's why half the time I carry this.
Nice.
My scraper tool.
Yeah.
And if cops ever say anything, it's a fucking scraper.
Yeah, it's a scraper tool.
It's a scraper. I use it every day. I just forgot to take it out of my pocket.
That's how I clean my sack. So
and I will stab the shit out of somebody with this.
I mean, if you ever needed to.
Yeah,
Not for like shits and giggles or anything. Right?
Then I got my mini stabber too.
Oh, good.
My little scraper.
Did you make these?
No.
Oh, okay. Those are like official, goldsmithing scrape you stabbers.
MSC Direct has them. At least that's where I get mine from.
Nice. Sport Brand said bioweapons are highly effective.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, the thing is, it's like Tim at Military Arms Channel. One day he was on, they were talking about on somebody's live stream about, everyday carry.
Yeah.
And he said, somebody pulls out a knife, I run like hell. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
Getting
cut is scary.
I'd rather use a knife.
Yeah.
A knife or a scraper. I mean, I'd rather use this.
I mean, it's intimate, Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that, and a lot of times you pull out something like this, people's eyes get about this fucking big.
So
that big, and run like hell. And then you just chase them down.
So for everyone watching, we are going to actually discuss what the can Hoff make a full auto bayonet. Yes, it's so easy. It's always on full auto. So we'll go through obviously, it's not a complete and utter clickbait, but it's us, so we talk and we talk shit. I have two stories based on the things we just covered, and I'm thinking if so many people already think I'm just like a pure degenerate anyway, so I may as well just tell at least one of them. So when I was a kid, I was never a bully, okay? And first, Robert Ribbit Harrison says, laugh my ass off. I love it, Hoff. I had one a few years back and had it reversed.
Yeah, I'm talking to the doctor Tuesday. I've got my first appointment with a doctor who said, that they can probably reverse it.
That's
We
good.
don't know when because I'm still going through chemo, but we're just going to start talking about it.
Yeah.
Get all our ducks in a row.
Yeah.
All our poop bags in a row.
All our bags in a row. So Kimball says, and Kimball, it's good to see you here, man. I know you've been working your ass off and haven't been able to make all the streams, so thank you for hanging out. Kimball says, Hoff keeps his PWEDC in his poo bags since his butthole is broken.
Yep.
You must have the cleanest beehole, like, in the world.
Oh, yeah. I don't use it for anything. Just sits there. Looks pretty. I thought about planting some flowers in it, but
You could probably germinate some flowers some seeds in there.
Have some ivy coming out of it.
Yeah, right? Slightly moist, warm. Just kidding. Oh God. Get a doctor that will toss your dose and give you real papers. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah. Just sweaty on occasion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
especially
man.
down here in Florida. Still sweats.
Yeah, right. Alex says it's a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Basically.
Of course, my wife told me, she said, if you get that thing reconnected, you're going to shit yourself.
Oh man.
And I'm like, yeah.
Your muscle memory is like,
yeah, I'm used to pooping in a bag. I'll just be sitting there and shit right in my pants.
So can you still like feel it?
Oh,
like,
when I shit?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, okay.
I don't mean to be like weird. I guess I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
because the what do they call it? A stoma that sticks through my chest it's one of the ones in your intestine, and it's like a fucking poop hole. It goes wah wah. And there's I think 2 or 3 of them or something in your large intestine.
Mm-hmm.
And so they basically just cut a hole and stuck that through the hole.
Dang.
And it's the same skin as your gums. So it's kind of funky. It's that same pinkish color as your gums are.
Really?
Think about that. Down in your fucking pooper is same materials in your mouth.
It's funny that you say that because like the couple, it's going to sound so bad. The couple times I had been romantic with a young lady in my earlier years, prior to being married, of course. And we did it in the booty. It kind of felt like harder, dense, like
Mm-hmm.
like I guess almost like gummy, like if someone with no teeth was just kind of gently biting down on your dick. Oh my
Old
God.
lady giving you the snarling.
Oh, it's so disgusting. Oh man, hilarious though. I'm just
But
not sure.
Can I feel it? Not really, because there's not a whole lot of nerve endings in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel it like anybody else does when you feel, the shit moving through your guts.
Yeah.
And then I just start pooping, and it's like I hear the bag crinkling as I'm pooping, and it's like, oh, I guess half the time I don't even know. I'll be sitting there, and it's like, my bag's full. When the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, if you're just like running the machines and stuff, God, man, that's crazy. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry that I had to take it there. But I have a story. So poop bags kind of freak me out a little bit. Or they freaked me out like more in the past, right? When I was younger, because I had an incident. There was this kid. So let me just say this, that Dirt says like a Harborough. Yeah, like kind of that gummy Harborough. Yeah. So I was never a bully. Okay. I always wanted to just be as kind as possible, but also have the ability to do terrible things to someone if I needed to defend myself. And that's kind of been like my idea like throughout most of my adult life after being a victim, a couple times. Um, and there was this kid that always bullied us, and he was a big kid. He was tall, muscular, and we would hang out at the pool, and the pool was right near the school. And this kid would come down, and he would just mess with all of us, and he would like literally beat up the smaller kids, and just all sorts of like terrible shit, kids like that. And one day I just was like, not today. So I just started like putting a whooping on him. I started punching him in the gut, body shots, got him in the face a couple times. And, he kind of got up and started to box. And I think it was like one of those things where like, those dudes that are bigger, they don't really get challenged an awful lot. So they intimidate people a lot, but they don't fight a lot. And
No, you can stomp the living shit out of them.
well, so that's what started happening, and I got him down on the ground, and I kind of lost it, and I kind of blacked out, and I started stomping him, and I stomp him in his stomach a few times, and he goes like this, and his shirt comes up, and what do I see?
Poop bag.
Yes, and I saw like the tube, and like I was like, God, don't you ever like oh, and it just like totally shook me. And
Oh, if it had a tube, he had a pee bag.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't have a pee bag. I got a poop bag.
yeah. So that like bothered me a bit, and at first it was like, you are such a shitbag. But I got him up and I helped him up, and I was just like, dude, like dark beats up handicapped people. Dude, I didn't know, man. Come on.
Were you going to beat me up now?
Oh God, I would just want to give you a hug.
When I hugged you, I'd turn so you hugged my poop bag.
So I just hear it crinkle like
Yeah.
like a handful of saran wrap.
I keep waiting to fart on somebody's show because it is the funniest goddamn thing. It kind of sounds like a fart, but not quite. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Is it like a gurgle or something?
No, it just kind of goes, and then the bag crinkles, and
Yeah,
I
so
did that to my
farts into
UPS
the
driver.
bag.
Yeah, you fart into the bag. UPS driver came to drop something off, and we were chatting the one day, and I farted, and he's like, "You just farted, didn't you? You farted into your goddamn bag." I'm like, "Yep."
Oh my God. What was it? Yeah, because UPS brings guns and shit like that. Like FedEx and USPS, they don't ship guns, right?
I get stuff FedEx, USPS. I get them all different ways. You can ship anybody can ship long guns USPS. You have to be a dealer to dealer to ship handguns or anything concealable.
Interesting.
USPS. That's really the best way to ship guns.
Yeah.
You want to be safe, you ship it. USPS, is it registered? I think it's registered mail, because every time it changes hands, they have to sign it. That's how they ship diamonds.
Yeah, kind of like how they ship like what's it called? If you owe money on your taxes, you can't lie and say you didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, actually, on the 14th at 3:07 p.m., no chance, or a shark attack. Hillary may be responsible. Corn Pop is dead? What? Is that a real thing? Hugs do kill people nowadays. I actually have a real question, though, about anybody in the chat, if you've had the karate cold, I'm confused. I don't know if like I may have the karate cold, or at least like the very, very early stages of it, or if it's all the Dremel work that I've been doing without a mask on with metal and stuff. But I have this like deep, like almost like, you know, that feeling when you have a bruise and you push on a bruise and it's like that like painful feeling like in my lungs.
You're going to
And
die.
oh no. Well, I already knew that.
But you're going to suffer a long time before that.
You know what? It's interesting that you say that because we kind of are now, right? And we're coming up on the anniversary of 911. So, oh my goodness, you guys. I just got a text message from somebody, and they got something straight from the child labor of Pakistan.
Damn.
Look at that. You got your mold, buddy. You got your mold. Usually, having mold is a bad thing,
Yeah.
but in your case, that's good. It looks good, man. It came out great. Nice. What do you think? You like it?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. I let them know that you approve. So I have one other quick story. We talked about knives and how knives, people freak out about knives. Guns, they're like, I'm like, I may not even feel it, which I would kind of disagree because one of my good friends during a fight got stabbed by like the classic buck knife that every single human being has ever had. Yep. The silver one with the black handle, what is it, like a buck 110 or something like that?
Yeah, the Esquire or something like that.
Something like that. It's the fixed blade with the upswept kind of Bowie style. I just gave you a shout out, Crump. What are you talking about? I think you may be behind.
I don't want to see Crump's behind.
Hold on. Don't accuse me of not giving you a shout out, Crumpy. Come on, babe. Yeah, thank you so much, John Crump, for taking the action needed to get Hoff's patches done. You are a saint. You are a miraculous human being, and it's just we'll never be as heavenly as you. Oh, he was behind. Okay, so moving along. So my buddy was in a fist fight, and it was a few people against a few people. Took off his belt buckle, his belt with a large belt buckle, when the guy pulled out a knife and started beating him in the head with it, and didn't feel when he got stabbed in the lung, and thought because of the pressure, the way it felt, he thought he just got punched like really hard. And they kind of he won the fight, and they jumped in the car and sped off. And he said he didn't really know anything was wrong until he leaned out of the window and tried to yell fuck you, got your ass, or whatever, talking smack on the way out.
And all he went is
yeah, he could like barely project. And then he sits back in the seat and he said, he was like, I was just soaked. And, you know, he looked, opened up his shirt and he was like, uh-oh. And then he started like drowning, you know, in his own blood.
Yep.
But they did get him to the hospital. You know, they took care of him. He survived. But in that moment, he did not feel it. And we're talking like a 6-inch blade. It almost hit his heart. It, you know, punctured a lung. It was crazy. But my point to this is that like we like psychologically think like, oh, like, you know, knives are scary. Like getting cut hurts more. Paper cuts hurt. But, you know, you'd be surprised. Like a you know 115 grain jacketed hollow point like sitting in your flesh, burning, Like, man, I could only imagine that shit. But my point to all this is that I did. You know what? It's not important. There have been a time that I drew a knife on somebody that opens up when you pull it out of your pocket. It's a Cold Steel Raja 1, if you're familiar with their products. And it's got a kind of like the Emerson wave. When you draw it out, it catches on your pocket. So it actually snaps open when you take it out. And that's a 14-inch, 6-inch blade, 7-inch handle, folding kukri. And it made a car full of dudes turn around and walk away. And I think there is like psychologically something about knives that people are just like,
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Like, not today.
Try pulling out a bullwhip. You want to see, or a bow? People shit themselves when you do that.
Man, I'd be shook if I saw. I wouldn't even know. Like, I mean, it takes you like 0.025 seconds to let go of an arrow. Like, I would feel more comfortable drawing on the drop than like drawing when someone has the drop on me than like drawing on someone that's like that shit would be terrifying. It sounds like you're speaking from experience, though.
Yeah, I have pulled a bow on somebody.
Wow.
They wanted to steal from me, so I grabbed my bow and.
Now, did you grab the bow just because it was there, or did you do like the old weapon selection thought process? Like,
oh, there was a couple of things there, but that was kind of the handiest, and I figured, you know what? I want to make this guy shit his pants.
Yeah, that would, especially if you have like the broadheads with like the razor, like the shit that.
Oh, I just had field tips, and I just looked at them, and I said, hey, this is gonna fuck you up just as bad as a fucking broadhead will.
Dang.
Because I'm not gonna shoot you just once.
You think about that, like if you point a bow and arrow at somebody and like the words out of your mouth is basically, this is gonna hurt. That's pretty terrifying. Oh man. Okay, so we're 32 minutes into it. Obviously, you are a
sick individual.
Yes, absolutely. But you gotta love it too, because like if you don't find humor in this stuff, like we've all been through like crazy, terrible things that like I look back on and allegedly. I had to think about it in my head, like, okay, it was a defensive situation, and yes, I displayed a weapon, but it was number one in defense, and number two, the statute of limitations is way up, so I'm good. I just had to do some quick math in my head. But we've all kind of been through situations where, like, we've had some shit go down, and if you can't look back on it and laugh, then, you haven't really worked through it all the way.
What's the point?
Yeah. You got to find the humor, man. That's the most important thing.
I crap in a bag and I'm laughing about it.
Yeah, right? Come on. If Hoff can laugh, then, geez, a puppy and a gun. Was that his idea of a carrot and a stick?
Yeah. What did he point at you, the puppy or the gun?
Yeah, hold on. I missed that. Was that Edge of the South? I saw somebody saying, I had my cousin pull a knife on me when I was a kid. It was right then and there when I understood mortality. You know what? I had a probably the worst joke played on me ever when I was very young. You remember those switchblade combs?
Yep.
So one of my friends, it was like a family friend, like almost like when you have like another family that's like, you kind of call them like your cousins and stuff like that. We were super close. I would go up to his house all the time after school, and he had a switchblade collection. We would always play with his switchblades. And, I was probably like 9, 10, something like that, when I first started like getting into smoking cigarettes and stuff. And knives were like awesome, like, the coolest thing in the world. So he had like a swing guard stiletto, all like the cool, like, Italian. I think he actually had some US stuff too, but all auto knives. And one day after school, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to walk home." I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to stop by so-and-so's house." So I go to his house and I walk in the garage, and in like literally a split second, he walks out from behind, like he was crouched behind the van in the garage, and he walks out, and I see him go and open a switchblade, and all I saw was the silver come out. The back of the comb was silver, and he just comes up to me. He puts his arm around my back, and he just like, ha, 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 and he starts like pretending to stab me. And I'm like maybe 10 years old, and I just like, like I'm thinking like I'm done for. And that feeling that comes over your body, like you said, like I finally understood mortality. Like and he's sitting there laughing, like like combing my hair and stuff. I'm like, I literally thought I was like done for. There are defining moments in your life that happen, and they will, determine who you're going to be later on in life. So, but enough about that. We're here to talk about machine guns. So 36 minutes and 50 seconds. So I'll maybe clip this part so we can like have another video that's specific to this conversation. So there are a lot of things that people don't know about when, say, converting an AR-15 to an M16. A lot of people reference like you just have to drill the third hole, and or even like a lightning link, right? Like you just drop it on in there. Not true. Drop in all this stuff. So I kind of wanted to go through and like bust some of the myths and talk about some of the platforms that you're familiar with. You obviously have videos too that I think all you guys should check out if you have not already. He's got videos talking about an M16 conversion. What is this? Christmas? Let me change this shit. Sorry. An M16 conversion, like AR-15 to M16, semi-auto to full auto Uzi, so on and so on. So kind of talk us through it and let us know like what is different between an AR-15 and an M16. And obviously this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, unless you're an 0702 and making a post 86 sample.
That or you want to do it illegally,
Yeah. If you want to make it illegal, that's cool too.
One that most people don't know is there's an M16 upper receiver and an AR-15 upper receiver.
That was the biggest part that blew me away, and a lot of people don't know about that.
And it's just a little milled out section in the rear of the receiver on the underside where the auto sear sticks up through the lower receiver. And if that's not milled out, it's not deep. It's, 3/16 of an inch deep or something. I don't even think it's that deep.
Yeah, it's like so like minuscule. It's crazy. Yep. And there was a guy that mentioned it to me, and I was like, "What do you mean a full auto upper? Like a full auto bolt?" He's like, "No, full auto upper." And I look, and it was this notch that, like you mentioned.
Yeah, most of the uppers are made with that notch.
Yeah.
Just because they go off of the military specs. They go off the military blueprints. Mm-hmm. And they don't go off the current military blueprints. That's another, whole fiasco there.
What's that?
Most of the people that say we make mil-spec parts are not making mil-spec parts because they are not using the current version of the M16 drawings. They're using an old version. At
one point, it was likely mil-spec.
Right. Yeah. And technically, unless they're using the current version, it's not mil-spec.
Well, let's be honest. Like, I've talked to a lot of guys, a lot of team guys, a lot of GWAT guys, and you know, unless you're like on a specific unit that is doing like super high speed shit, like a lot of those guys are like given like dog shit guns,
Oh yeah,
you know?
made by the lowest bidder.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah, I was given. They're probably not the current blueprints anymore, but they were 2 years ago when they were given to me. They just showed up in my email, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Damn.
And I looked, and it was the current M16 blueprints.
Wow.
It's like, son of a bitch, that's like $20,000 for those blueprints.
Damn. If you ever, you know, want to shoot them over. I'm just kidding.
I tell you the truth, I don't even know if I saved them.
Oh.
Because I'm not supposed to have them.
Yeah.
You know, well, if I have them, I'm supposed to pay for them. And I ain't paying 20 grand for a set of blueprints for the M16, you know. I've got an old set of blueprints that work just fine.
We're talking like classified government shit someone snapped a picture of.
They're not classified, but because to buy the latest generation of prints is 20 grand, because you're basically paying for the license for those prints. And it's not the government who owns the license. It's whatever company came up with the prints. You know.
Shout out to y'all that are talking about Tonto blades. You gotta love a good Tonto. Sorry.
You know, it's like, I don't want somebody coming after me saying I stole the freaking prints.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because you know.
Well, someone sent them to you against your will. And
yeah, they just showed up, and it's like, son of a bitch, you know.
Yeah, so the one thing that like from our conversation earlier, we had said, like, you know, just to be safe, because even just statistically speaking, out of the almost 50 people that are watching this, it's likely that, you know, a few of them are alphabet soup boys. So we just want to make it very clear that the ATF can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And actually they can't, because they couldn't keep their dick hard long enough to. But, you know, you find out something to do. But please, Hoff, my apologies.
Detective John Kimmel asked what would cause an Uzi bolt to get stuck to the rear. Either your receiver's tweaked a little bit in the back, or chances are your top cover's too tight. And that's what's binding it up in the back.
Can you,
if you take the top cover off and the bolt goes flying forward, you know it's the top cover.
That's a good point.
It should have 5 to 15 thousandths gap between the top cover, the bottom of the top cover rails, and the bolt.
Yeah, you may need to mic that shit, player.
Yeah, use a feeler gauge.
Yeah.
I'd show you, but I can't. I can't touch a gun.
Yeah, you know, he would. Actually, never mind, I won't say that. I was going to say something similar to what we said before we got on about you know, all the people in the room.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the differences, I think a lot of people are using the M16 bolt carriers again. There was a time in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, mid 90s, where all the idiots got scared because, oh my God, we're using M16 bolt carriers in an AR-15. It's going to go full auto. And so all the companies switched to AR-15 bolt carriers.
And they freaking yank.
Yeah, like they either cut it straight across the bottom, or they cut that shear ledge on the back of the bolt back further.
Remove like most of it.
Yeah.
Making it almost an SP1 carrier.
Yeah. Who cut it all off? Colt?
Colt, like totally cucked their guns. They put they milled a block back there
to put in there, and
to block where the sear was. They
they did all kinds of stupid shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How does one loosen an Uzi top cover? Hammer. Go to my YouTube site. I've got a video on fitting a top cover.
Oh, nice.
It's basically just get a bigger fucking hammer.
Now, should you use like one of those like polymer hammers or rubber hammer, or like use it in conjunction with like a dowel, or?
It depends where you need to bend it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just use a 10 ounce or something ball peen. Sometimes I use plastic hammer. Sometimes I use a Delrun block in my ball peen.
Gotcha. Nice.
Let's see. That's pretty much the upper is, what the difference is there. Just those two things.
Yeah. Sorry.
The
small notch in the back of the bottom of the upper, right near the rear takedown pin.
I don't know if I can show you that.
If you have, to play it safe, I'd say no, because literally, recently, Tour EDU was taken down for showing a slide.
Yeah. But then,
you know what? Let's get spicy. If you have do you have just a stripped upper hanging around? Or if it's attached to something, just make sure nothing else on the other side shows.
Oh, fuck you. Here, I'll just go like that. There's not even a barrel in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that cut right there.
Yeah. Yep. That little horseshoe. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's not even a firearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since I got it, that's an M16 bolt.
Yeah.
And here's the surface we're talking about. And then the AR-15s are cut back to like here.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Or there's one of them that's cut all the way. They just cut this straight all the way back out.
I think there's a few. I can't recall right off the top of my hand, but if the top and the rear are not in parallel, like in line with each other.
Yeah, they're it's a little bit off, but not much.
Yeah. It won't be able to trip the sear if yours goes back and only has a small amount of material. But there are SP1 bolt carrier groups that can be used in conjunction with like a registered lightning link or something like that.
Yeah. Selector is the big part that you can use in an AR-15, but you really shouldn't. And that comes from Tech Branch, because I was back in the day when the guys at Tech Branch actually knew what a fucking gun was. I was talking to one of them and I said, okay, what M16 parts can you use in an AR-15 and not have a run-in with ATF? Yeah. And they basically said, you can use all the M16 parts except the auto sear, of course. In an AR-15, they said, don't use a selector, an M16 selector, because if you have the M16 fire control parts in it and an M16 selector and an AR-15, they said, if you want to take a lot of time and really fuck with the selector, you can get it right at the right position and the hammer will follow down, and sometimes it goes full auto.
Really?
So they said, just don't put an M16 selector in it.
So, but would that only work with an M16 hammer?
Yep. Well,
and
it'll work
trigger.
with it'll work with an AR-15 hammer or an M16 hammer. It doesn't matter.
Because the M16 hammer has that small hook on the
It
back.
needs the M16 disconnector,
Gotcha.
which has the long tail on it.
So M16 trigger and
Yep.
M16 disconnector, which is
Yep.
much longer in
Yeah.
the back. Okay.
And like the AR-15 and the M16 triggers, depending on who makes them,
Yeah.
some of the companies put, if you're looking at the top of the trigger and it's got, the cutout at the very back of the trigger, the M16s are opened all the way through out the back. Some of the AR-15 triggers, they've put a wall there.
Yeah.
So you can't put an M16 disconnector in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the hell does that. I've got one or two kicking around here that has that wall in it. And I don't know where the hell they came from.
Well, I think at one point, when looking at like the lower parts of an M16, you have the hammer with the little kind of hook on it.
The little hook on the back side of it, which catches the auto sear.
Yeah. I think at one point, companies just
they would not put
off.
that. Yeah, they would just lop it off.
Yeah.
Either lop it off or use an AR-15 hammer, which doesn't have it. Yeah, they were, they didn't want that shit in their guns.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess like at some point, companies just started making molds with like AR-15 fit instead of taking M16 stuff and making it compliant.
It was during the whole assault weapons ban. Everybody was freaking out, and
Yeah, yeah. And then the same thing with like the M16 trigger and disconnector. Like they could, like in theory, just lob that shit off too, right?
Yep. Yeah. You can just take an M16 hammer and just grind the sear catch off, and you got an AR-15 hammer.
Yeah. The funny thing is like anybody with most places will not like request a proof of a Form 4, M16.
No, not anymore.
Buy a lower parts kit for an M16.
Yeah.
Which one day may change. But,
At this point, nobody cares. In the 90s, everybody was freaking out about it. Oh my God, you've got an M16 sear pin in there. Who gives a shit?
A sear pin.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot with a sear pin.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you were talking about. Like, there is so much more that has to be done other than just drilling a hole.
Yeah,
like
I really have no idea why ATF, they freak out if you dimple where the hole is supposed to be or put a pencil mark where it's supposed to be.
Apparently that's a machine gun to their...
I've had the guys in here and I've said, well, an auto sear will not... I can drill the hole in an AR-15. You can still not put an auto sear in that gun. I mean, if you get a big enough hammer, you can hammer it in. It's never going to move.
Yeah, it will never function.
And you're going to destroy the receiver trying to do it because you got to pocket it out in the back.
That's what I was. So that's the other thing. Sorry, I'll just let you talk. Just really quickly, the end is near. Beware. Thank you for the super chat, brother. He said, "Can't speak of self-defense / training." As Black Rifle Coffee and Dakota Mayer, I guess that's Coda Boy, Sarah Palin's ex-son-in-law, all said so. They say if you've never served, you're posers. That's right. Where it's stolen valor if you've had to defend yourself or you train or you wear a plate carrier. That's such bullshit. Excuse me.
Damn. I don't do any of that shit. Well, I shoot in subgun matches, so I don't know if that's considered training or not.
You're such a LARPer. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah, so sorry, I'll let you talk through the whole part. I'm sitting here running my mouth. Bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. But to put an auto sear in, you got to pocket out the rear of the receiver. And it's what, like an eighth of an inch on one side or something like that.
Yeah, and it stops at a certain point.
Yeah,
So
and
doesn't
it
go all the
goes
way
down so far and then stops. And, you got to have part of the selector hole exposed because that's where the little leg for the auto sear goes down to activate it, or actually to deactivate it.
To stop it from moving.
When you put it into semi-auto, it actually moves the auto sear out of the way, so it won't catch the hammer, I think.
Oh yeah, it kind of moves a little bit.
Yeah. I'd have to look at it again.
I can't remember which way it moves. It may move to be flat.
It moves the sear surface away from the hammer so it doesn't catch it. So it's probably on the bottom.
Yeah.
But so you got to machine that out and then drill the hole. Then you can put the auto sear in. And then it's just the M16 hammer, trigger, disconnector, and selector. And you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
And you could get those dimensions online. I mean, I said that in my video, and then I had people, well, where are you getting those dimensions? It's like, go to Google, put M16 receiver blueprints.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people, it's funny because you had said, somebody commented something like, this is worthless without the specs.
It's like dude, go on to Google and Google it. That's what I did.
On any search engine, you may not even want to use Google, depending on your preference and but all this shit is available online, and there are also much easier ways to achieve this, but don't break laws and stuff.
No, I mean, if you want an easy full auto, get an M1 carbine. Jesus Christ, that's just drop the parts in and you're rocking and rolling.
So you're saying you can convert an M1 to an M14?
No,
M1 carbine.
An M1 carbine to an M2 carbine. The receivers are the exact same.
Really?
Yep.
And that has that little kind of rolling.
Yep, it's a little switch on the side. You go.
Similar to like the similar to the M14 and like the AC556 style.
The M14 and the M1A.
M1A, okay, got it.
And the problem with the AC556 and the Mini 14 and the M14 is the Mini 14 is just scaled down pretty much,
Yeah.
So you can't use the same parts, bastards.
So this is one of my dream guns. I'll show this off. And I literally had one in hand, and I talked them down to $12,500. And I didn't get it, but it was this exact one, 12.5-inch barrel, stainless everything, A-team stock, stainless side folding stock, and literally almost 30 magazines.
Man.
And I didn't get it. Now
you dumbass.
I know, dude. I literally kick my own ass every day over this shit. These, if you look, can you see my cursor?
Yep.
So right here, this little nipple, it's rests at safe, and then it has semi, then it has 3-round burst and full auto. Yep. So it's very versatile.
And those are fun guns.
Hell yeah.
Those are real fun full autos.
And if I'm not mistaken, this may have been the gun that changed the firearms that law enforcement carry. Wasn't this in the Miami shootout?
I don't remember.
Let me see. I think it was an AC55. I think it was an illegally converted M14 or Mini 14.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
Let me see. Miami. Whoa. Okay. All right.
I know they had
Yeah.
AKs.
Look at that shit, dude.
That's gonna pit.
Yeah. Right. That's like your Thompson.
Yeah.
The guns of the. Oh yeah. Look at that.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah. That doesn't look full auto though.
No. But some of the conversions didn't have selectors. They just ran full auto.
Yeah, yeah, they would basically
Depending
just like,
on, depending on which book you got.
yeah, right. I mean, they would basically like run away,
Yeah.
right? Um, Damn. Yeah, I thought it was what the fudge? That is a
I
chick holding a Sig 5.56 out of her. I mean, that's pretty badass. I want that
yeah.
stock, the Swiss. So I have that, but in a 10.5 inch SBR, and it
Mm-hmm.
takes 5.56 mags. That may be the 5.56R, which is in 7.62 by 39. I say that because there's a rear mag catch right there to catch the rear of an AK magazine. But this stock right here, if anybody has one, wants to get rid of one, I want that stock on my 5.56 SBR because the one I have is their silly, ridiculous folding and collapsible stock. And I swear, if I dropped it on a carpeted floor, it would break. Like, I just don't trust it at all. But the rest of the gun would outlive me like any day. Any day. Sorry. Um,
We'll excuse you.
yeah, I talk shit all the time. Yeah, this is. I don't think they're going to show exactly what. This
No.
is the only one that I'm seeing, but it says it looks like this was talking about the gun ban.
Yeah. I never understood that Miami shootout. It's like cops are all hiding behind the cars. It's like shoot the motherfucker in the ankle. And then when
Yeah,
he falls down, pop him in the head.
I think a lot of criminals. Does that have a bullet hole in it? Why, yes, it does. It was
Yeah, it looks
shot.
like it.
It was shot. Oh, that's right. He was shot in the hand,
Yeah.
and he had to run his backup gun with one hand, and he ran out of his 5-shot, probably like a Chief Special
Mm-hmm.
38. He ran out. Man, we should break down that video. Let me know in chat if you guys want to break down that video. We can watch the actual Miami shootout. Sorry. So now let's talk about an Uzi. I know you did a video about this as well.
Yep.
I'll say, you know what? Let's say mini Uzi. I'll pull this up. Yeah. Oh, nice. Boom. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now, the one that you're going to build for me in 2 years from now is going to be a semi-auto with
Yep.
that stock welded shut like that.
I don't know if it's going to be welded shut.
I
I
mean,
might go the California route where you take the spring out and you put a couple of washers in there, so you
okay.
can't fold it. It won't fold.
So I could SBR it in the future
Yep.
if I wanted to.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
It's basically doing the same thing as who brought in all those PPSH 43 pistols,
Yeah.
where they just took the stock and folded it forward and put repinned it with a larger diameter pin so you couldn't push the release in.
Okay.
You know.
So walk us through, what makes an Uzi full auto? Like, what components are different? Walk us through the semi-auto and full auto. And now I'll shut up for this one because I don't know shit about it.
Yeah, the bolts are different. One, the mini Uzi bolt and the full size bolt are different lengths by about I think the mini is 1 3/4 inches shorter or something.
Okay.
I got too much shit rattling around in my brain. I can't keep those specs in my head. I just look them up every time. I got to write it down.
You rattle off more shit than I could ever even, pretend to remember.
But the full auto Uzis, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pointing at it, but you can't see me pointing at it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I can go like this. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Here up to about there.
Yeah.
On the semi-autos is a blocking bar.
That line, that's solid.
It's right above that rib, and it goes all the way to the back of the receiver. And that's what makes a semi-auto Uzi full size a semi-auto Uzi. Is that bar, because it keeps you can drop a full auto bolt in the gun, but you can't cock it. It won't go back any further. Or it goes back, like 1/4 of an inch and then hits the bar and stops. With the mini Uzis, the full auto bolts have 2 little feet on the front of them that stick out the front of the bolt.
Okay.
And the trunnion is relieved under the trunnion, so those feet can slide under the trunnion.
Okay.
So the notch trunnion is what makes a mini Uzi a full auto. A solid trunnion makes it semi-auto. And those are easy to, switch the trunnion. Well, for me, it's real easy to switch the trunnion or take the blocking bar out, just because I've done so many of them.
Yeah.
For various reasons. Whether I'm fixing a gun or, blocking bar's cracked and I got to replace it, or yada, yada, yada. Or I'm building a post sample.
Yeah.
And then the grip frame, lower, whatever you want to call it, semi-autos have a stop in them so it won't go into the full auto position. And the sears cut a little bit differently. And that's the only difference.
So hold on. So the selector, does it have a block, or is it welded, or how?
There is a block that is welded into the grip housing. Okay. So when the selector is like, a straight piece. Hang on. The selector is a straight piece, and then it's like an L shaped.
Okay.
So the leg comes up and hits that stop that's in the lower, and it won't go into the full auto position because full auto is fully forward.
Okay. All the way pushed forward. All the way pushed forward.
Safe. All the way back is safe, and in the middle is semi. But
okay.
Who the hell ever uses semi unless it's a semi-auto gun?
Yeah. Right. I don't.
That's just sacrilege.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want semi-auto and a machine gun, you just work on your trigger distance.
Yeah. You take your finger off the trigger.
Yeah. Just very, very quickly.
Yep. And especially full size Uzis, they're so easy to pull off single shots with.
Yeah, for sure. Same thing like with a Mac with a Liege upper. It's got the slow fire. I shot that. I can tell you how many rounds I put through that. But the mags, man, we talked about this. I had a lot of issues with the mags. And then we shot his M16. But the M16 is a little more. I find that typically get like 1 to 3 rounds on trigger pull.
Yeah. M16s depend on what weight buffer you have in the back.
Yeah.
If you have what's the heaviest one? An H3?
H3,
I
yeah.
think they make an H3.
Yeah.
H2, I think, is kind of the standard for an M16.
Yeah.
And that, a lot of times when people convert them, they use the
Mm-hmm.
standard AR buffer in them, and they're too
Yeah.
light. You got to have the H2 in it.
Yeah.
And if you put the H3 in it, it slows the gun down a little bit. Then you can also go crazy. And some people make
Hydraulic buffers.
carbide or tungsten weights
Oh
that
yeah.
go in the back of the bolt to give it a more, that go back here, that slides in that hole
Yeah. Yeah.
to give it more weight to slow it down more.
Well, do you know anything about I keep hearing about hydraulic buffers used with machine guns, with M16s, and I'm guessing that they're kind of like the fully captured, like the
Yeah, spring and
like the
everything.
JP Enterprises buffer
You
springs,
know,
like all in one piece. It's tunable.
if you set your gun up right and you get the right buffer in it, you don't need the
Yeah.
hydraulic buffers.
Yeah.
I think they're more gimmicky than anything,
Yeah. Well, apparently they were originally made because they were JP Enterprises came out with a silent buffer. So for like 300 blackout with a can on it,
Yeah.
that, freaking like cheese grater noise you get, every time you pull the trigger, it was like literally silent.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a quiet gun, you don't start with an M16.
Yeah, no.
You might as well start with an AK.
I think they kind of maybe marketed it at, like, they may have created it to be a silent buffer.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
they were like, oh, we could market
we
this
could
as a
sell
machine gun
these.
buffer. Taking down all of your votes for the community build. So if you see me like appearing like I'm not paying attention, I am. I'm just paying so close attention that.
What's the rate of fire of an M16? It sure as hell ain't 650.
Yeah, no, I think it's like in the 9s.
Yeah, 8 or 9 or something like that. And
Yeah.
depending on what buffer you've got in it, 1,000.
Yeah. What's the rate of fire of a single shot 22? I'm just kidding.
Depends how fast you can load.
Yeah. One asshole a second. Okay. 3. I would love to have your feedback on this too. We're doing a community build where, people will contribute their ideas. If people desire to, they can contribute parts. You don't have to. I've never asked for anything, and I, will stand by that. And I won't ask for anything in the future, whether it's ideas or whatever. I want to build something that symbolizes like us, our community. So the poll is option 1 is a gay R15. So it has to be really gay. Number 2 is a gay K47. 3 is a blue Chemlight AR, and 4 is a blue Chemlight Glock. What would you want to see? What would make the Hoff happy?
Building a real gun?
Well, I mean, they'll all be real, but
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
The gay R or the gay K would, no matter how we do this, I'm not sure if you've seen the Pin 15 build on TFB TV. The Pin 15 is penis. So they call it the Pin 15. It's an AR that was built, and it's got like all just dicks all over it.
Oh my God.
One of the dudes 3D printed a grip that is literally a ball sack, shaft, and dick head, and it even has like the little detent hole for the spring and detent. It's like perfect. Oh, now I got to pull it up. Here, let me finish taking down these votes and I'll pull it up.
Dirt McGirt asked or said something about the grease gun rate of fire. It's not 650. The grease gun is 450.
450?
Oh yeah, it's so freaking slow. It's not even. It's like bang, bang,
Really?
bang. Yeah, you can shoot a semi-auto with no problems at all. Way faster. You can shoot the grease gun way faster semi-auto than you can full auto.
Dang.
I mean, it's ridiculous. That thing is so slow. You know.
I do remember like watching in movies and shit, mostly when I was a kid, but like even like Fury and some of the other ones,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like tat 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 tat.
Yeah, they're slow.
Yeah.
Put it this way. Sometimes, every once in a while, you'll get somebody with a grease gun showing up to the subgun matches, and they end up basically shooting the same thing semi-auto, just bang, 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 because it's faster than the full auto.
Yeah.
Than to hold the trigger in. And if you shoot it full auto, you're waiting on the gun to hit the plates because it's so slow.
That's crazy. Have you seen Ivan's 3D printed Ruger 1022? It's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are printing 1022 receivers because they are super easy and it's super cheap when it comes to filament. And I mean, for like less than $2 or something like that, you can print a 1022 receiver, and there's so little pressure that that goes on in that receiver. So a butt plug charging handle. If I can swing it, I like that idea. Automatic grenade launcher, like the Mark 19, I think that is. I think that's the Mark 19.
Jerry Micklack looks bored shooting the grease gun.
Yeah, right.
And that's true because he's so used to fast.
Oh my god, man, he's nuts with it, man. Like he is like got to be one of the fastest fingers out there, outside of me when I was 13.
I've heard that ATF is going to declare him a machine gun.
They just sent the letter last week.
Did they just send the letter?
Yeah. So if he doesn't relieve himself of his fingers, then they're going to take him to jail.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Shout out to Thomas Darnell. He's one of the only ones that actually voted for the gay K-47. Mostly because I think he wants to see a penis bayonet on like a Bulgarian like AK bayonet, like, which I think what I would do is just literally take a phallic shaped item and stick it over the blade, like push it in there. That could be dangerous though. But I'd put a dick on the bayonet, definitely, if we go that route.
Somebody said a Mark 19. I'm for that.
Yes, I am all about the 200 per finger. Yeah, $200 tax stamp per finger, Mr. Michelite. Or Michelite, whatever. AKs are already gay enough. Oh, you're fired. That's it. All right, get out of here. That dongle can be a dong. Oh, I didn't even think about that. If we did a dong grip, we could actually shape it into a dick. And John Rice is excellent with woodwork, so he'd probably have to whittle it down a little bit, but he could make it like a little dick. And then I'd have a machinist, like somebody I know, make a muzzle brake in 14x1 left-hand thread, but it would have to be a little tiny dick muzzle brake. You think you could machine that?
I don't know. I'm not real good with the 3D stuff.
I thought you were going to say I'm not good with dicks, but
no, I'm not good with dicks, but you know, yeah, I need to spend more time doing 3D stuff.
Well, I was thinking it would have to be machined like on a like lathe or like something like that, because if for for a muzzle brake, I would think that it would have to be cut out of like. Oh, actually, you know what? We could take a muzzle brake that's already threaded in like 14x1 left-hand thread, so you don't have to worry about threading it and all that, and just find something that could be machined down into a little tiny dick.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
What you need to do is make a suppressor and
Yep.
then get one of them giant rubber fucking dicks and cut out the center and use it as a sleeve.
So funny thing is there is a dick suppressor. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it is 100% real.
Oh
It is
my God.
100% functional. It has like a whole baffle system in it. And I think actually the nutsack serves. Oh my God, there's another one. There is another one. It is V2.0. It is a cock and balls. That's interesting. But this one is starting to discolor at the head, which you may want to get that checked out. But I think it's just because of heat. It's probably aluminum. The silencer you will never hear coming. Oh, God. That was bad and great at the same time. Oh, my God. Look how... Oh, dude, it's like... kind of like rainbow. That's why it's a different color. That shit's 3D printed. Yeah, because that Glock mag is 3D printed as well. Oh, it's on a freaking 3D printed bed. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's... imagine sending the specs into the ATF for a Form 1 for a dick suppressor. So I probably won't Form 1 a can for a community build. Okay, I'm going to be honest. But I am multi-purpose. I am talking to a viewer that is talking to a company about doing custom engraved lower receivers, and we may be able to get a blue chem light lower receiver, but I'm probably only going to be able to do one. Maybe like at absolute best, I could see me doing like 5 to 10 at an absolute maximum, but I don't really want to put the money out. So Skip Green says, "No, honey, it's not actually gay. All my friends are making custom dick suppressors for our straight gayer." Interesting. Full automatic assault dildos. All right, now let's see if I got the yellow dot. No, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. We are still up and running, good to go. Akimbo dildos. Jeez. Dark, I'm beginning to believe you are low IQ. Step up the content of these streams, Western man. Gerchop, do me a favor and fuck off. Step up the content. Jesus Christ. Okay, so what other platforms are you familiar with discussing?
Oh, any of the older stuff. Basically, I stopped looking at new stuff in like the 80s.
You stopped looking at new stuff in the 80s?
Yeah.
So you're more of like obviously you got like, well, that's a Sterling?
That's a Sten.
A Sten?
That's my Mark II Sten.
What's the difference between a Sten and a Sterling?
Sterlings they're a much more refined version of the Sten, and they take a double feed, double stack magazine. The Stens take a double stack single feed magazine. And you can use a Sten mag in a Sterling, but you can't use a Sterling mag in a Sten.
Okay.
And Sten mags suck to load because they're single feed.
Kind of like the 38 and 357
Yeah.
idea. Now, those Sten mags were the ones that they converted to use with like Max and shit like that, or were those Sterling mags?
No, in the Max they actually used the Walther MPK magazines.
Really?
Yeah, Mac bought magazines unfinished from Walther, and then they went and cut the appropriate mag catch notches in them and finished them.
What's that machine gun called again?
Walther MPK.
MPK.
It's either the MPK or the MPL.
MPL, that's right. That's what I was
The
thinking.
MPL had the long barrel, the MPK had the short barrel, but they were the same guns.
This is probably only known by some because of Call of Duty. This is probably one of the finest subguns of that time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They are fucking awesome.
And how fast are those things running?
They're running about 650, I think.
Okay, so controllable.
Yeah, oh yeah. They're real controllable. They're awesome guns to shoot. I love shooting the MPK.
They're little guns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's an MPK stock.
See?
Yeah, it goes like that.
Oh no shit.
You know, so it's not, you know, they're not that long.
What else could you put that on?
I don't know. I've thought about it and never really came up with anything I really like. I want the rest of the damn gun is what I want.
Yeah, but where could you ever come across parts kits?
Well, the guns show up as pre-samples, and they show up a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
I just I have a hard time spending the money on it. Like I'll buy a pre-sample Uzi. I'll buy a transferable Uzi. I'll buy, I bought the Smith I bought was transferable. I'll spend the money on that because I can take that and make money out of it, making parts for it.
Yeah.
The problem is there's not enough MPKs, MPLs out there, that anybody really needs parts for it.
Yeah. XX said same thing. Most of the Walthers that are in the United States are pre and post samples.
Pre and post sample.
Yeah.
Because they were made after 1968.
Yeah.
And after 1960, a lot of people think, oh, you can get machine guns that were made, foreign machine guns that were made up until 86. When the machine gun ban went in, you can't.
Yeah, with the Gun Control Act.
Gun Control Act killed all importation of full auto weapons, except dealer samples and law enforcement.
Now, how difficult is it to get a post sample? As an 0702.
Getting a post sample, you got to know a cop who's willing to write you a law enforcement letter.
Yeah.
Saying they want to see a demonstration. And I can't get that. So I can't do post samples at all.
Why do you think you're saying you can't get that? What, just because of,
I can't get the letter. I can't get a demo letter.
Just because you don't have a friendly law enforcement officer that's willing to.
Nope. It's got to be a chief of police.
Yeah, it's got to be like the Clio, right?
Either a chief of police, county sheriff, or whoever he designates that can look for that stuff, that can buy that stuff. Because some of them have an officer that, John's in charge of the armory, so he can, buy and sell and, do all that shit.
Yeah.
But I have yet to find one that will write me a goddamn letter.
Yeah.
Because the problem is they're all political. Oh, well, what's this mean for my political career? means you want to see the gun test, you want to see the gun demonstrated, period.
So XX says all NFA items were banned in 1968, and there are no law letter post samples if you're in 0702.
Yeah, I don't think, I think they stopped making the MPKs before the 86 machine gun ban.
Yeah,
I know all the ones I've seen are pre-samples.
Yeah, and I wasn't talking specifically about to XX. I wasn't talking specifically about the MPL and MPK. I obviously have a picture of it showed up just because I found one for sale. It's probably a scam or some shit. But if you're in 0702, you can get demo guns on letters on law letters. It's just like he said, you have to have the Clio actually sign off that they want to see a demonstration of the firearm. And some people got a hookup. All imported NFA items were killed as a result of the GCA.
My wife would really be pissed if I dropped $7,500 on that.
Well, so I think that is, that's just bidding. If I were to guess, I would say that it's going to end much, much higher than that. And
no, it'll keep going.
Yeah,
that's about what they go for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the problem is the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time I saw a magazine, they were like $300.
Yeah, I just saw one for 200.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. And you can't fabricate one?
No, not a good one. People think magazines are easy to make. Magazines are the most difficult part on a gun to make and get right.
Yeah. If you're thinking of like, the spring tension matching the slide reciprocation or reciprocation of the bolt perfectly.
It's mostly the geometry of the feed lips.
Really?
That's the hardest part. I can make mag bodies. I've made magazines, but the geometry of the feed lips and the follower are the hardest parts.
See, I always thought it would be the spring.
Nah, that's easy. That's easy.
No shit.
Yeah, you just call Wolf Springs and say, here's the size, what you got.
Yeah.
And they say, we got this, this, and this, The
information is out there so that you can, find the weight of a spring, the geometry, the size, all that shit, whatever. So
I had to put that up there.
Yeah, sorry, man. I know. I mean, at this point, with the 20th anniversary of 911 coming around the corner and hundreds of thousands of undocumented Afghanis in here, I mean, we're likely to have a terrible thing happen in the next couple of days. So I'd say, fuck it, just buy the shit,
Yeah, my wife will probably kill me.
Well, it may not be the only thing that's going to wipe us out here soon. Our wives. So I was going to pull up another machine gun. What was I thinking of? Oh, so let's look at a transferable. Actually, you know what? Let's just search transferable and look at some of these.
Look up HK Auto Sear.
Oh, God.
You want to shit your pants.
What, 35, 40 grand?
I think the last one I had a dealing with was, I think, 32 grand.
Yeah, that's nauseating. It's especially nauseating because I remember seeing them for like 21, 20, 20 something.
I remember seeing them for $50.
Oh, don't tell me that. Okay, so here's an interesting thing right on the topic of what we're talking about. So here we are on Gunbroker. This is $99. This is a lower receiver. And this is The inside is pre-cut for an auto sear.
For a drop-in auto sear.
Yeah, I don't think that's cut.
That's not cut. That's not cut for the military auto sear.
Yeah, because there's no wall remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Hold on. Oh, that's weird. So this is showing an actual sear in it. Oh, that's what it is. So when it's not functioning, it goes forward
Yeah.
and locks. That's right. I couldn't remember if it went back or forward. So this is showing an auto sear in it, but I thought you needed like a shelf kind of on the right side.
No, you need it cleared out like that.
Interesting.
Where's the other picture of the inside?
Let me see. I'm going to pull another one up. I saw another one recently. M16 sear cut. I mean, you got to think that, like, you know, all these like sear cut lowers, like, who's selling them? Who's making them? Who's selling them? Like, I don't trust that shit at all.
You know, but
yeah. See,
what I don't understand is,
see that shelf right there?
Yep.
That's why I thought it had to be milled.
No, you know why that is legal.
Yeah.
Yet, if it's all filled in like an AR-15 on the inside, but you drill the hole, that makes it illegal.
You know my theory on that?
It should be the whole process has to be done so you can drop an auto sear in there to make it a machine gun.
Agreed. Totally agreed. My whole theory on why the third pin is you know, like the thing that you know makes some, like, if you take a punch and go thwack, like one of the recessed punches, and stamp a you know, fake pin into it, like Troy and like a lot of these other companies, the ATF freaked out about that. Apparently considered them machine guns, then they didn't, then they did. I don't, you know, fully understand like what their stance is on it right now.
It's because a bunch of stupid asses at ATF that know nothing about guns, probably their tech branch, said, "Oh my God, that's a machine gun."
It's a third hole. So that's my theory on it. Actually, is that is their way of identifying a machine gun.
Yeah,
from the outside, right? Seeing a third hole. So I think that their SDG says, I think Aero Precision made some lowers with the M16 shelf. Nice. So I think that the reason that we kind of are where we are right now, with like, if it's, you know, dimpled or if it's whatever the fuck, you know, all the stupid shit that we're talking about, that is the indicator, because that's what they see from the outside to determine if something is a machine gun or 3-round burst or whatever the hell. Everything else is internal.
Yeah.
Everything else is internal. So I just
the only way it should be, is this a machine gun or not, is to take it to the range, put a magazine in it, and shoot it.
With no modifications.
With no, just take it to the range, load it, bang, or brrr.
Here's the problem, is that this new readily convertible thing they're saying is 8 hours and a fully operational machine shop. They're saying that let's give this example. If you had a strip lower, even if you had an 80% lower, which technically isn't even a firearm, and an M16 parts kit, they would consider that side by side likely readily convertible.
Yep.
Which is like 8 hour. So I was just on Hank Strange's show last night, and this is one of the topics that came up, was 8 hours and a Dremel, not with this bit on it, of course, but 8 hours and a Dremel, I could make an armory of. It's just crazy, man. Like, you could probably, from bar stock metal, create a full auto Uzi from nothing in your shop in that amount of time.
Yeah. To make an M16 receiver, if you are set up to do it, it does not take 8 hours to machine the whole receiver.
Yeah, hell no.
I mean, it's not an hour, it's a couple hours of machining to do it.
Yeah.
But it sure is fucking 8 hours to get a finished receiver.
Well, I mean, even if you have some would say that AKs are easier to convert than ARs. And, I mean, you could crank out somebody with very simple, rudimentary tools. And I'm not encouraging this, okay? This is just a conversation about, the laws and how they're being interpreted currently. You could crank out several full auto AKs within, or anything within an 8 hour time period, and very rudimentary tools. Not even to mention a full machine shop. Like, that's crazy.
This tube, now I've turned down the outer diameter to the right diameter. This is going to be a Yugo 56 submachine gun receiver. I have it programmed in my mill. Takes me half hour to machine this out into a receiver. And I've had these idiots come in and say, oh, well, that piece of tube can be a suppressor or can be a receiver or can be a whatever. And I've said, yeah, it can.
Possession.
And I said, okay, if you want to say I'm breaking the law because I haven't registered those because they're 12-foot lengths of tube, first you need to tell me what I'm making out of that tube, how long to cut it, and so on, and then I'll register it. Because right now I don't know how long I need to cut it. I don't know if it's going to be a suppressor or I don't know if it's going to be a sten. I use the same fucking tube for both. And I said, if that 12-foot piece of tube, DOM tube, is a machine gun, you need to go over to Alro Steel and every other manufacturer of steel that makes DOM tubing and put them in prison for about 1 billion years.
Arrest all of them.
Arrest all of them. Well, why? Because they have the fucking tube.
Dude, this guy, Adam Grubb, I think his name was. And you know what? Because we're on the topic, you know what? I'll even pull the shit up. Adam Grubb. Some of you guys may know his story. He went on kind of a rampage isn't a good word to use. What's up to EDU? He went on a machine gun building spree illegally. Okay, and this dude killed it, man. He did an awesome job. His first gun that he made was a sten out of a muffler. Okay, and he built it in his freaking basement. And in his first video, so this is him. He's kind of gone to music. He's an artist, but I've been in conversations with him to get him over on the show. Adam, if you're out there watching, return my emails.
And yes, to AEDU, I am making a Yugo 56.
Yeah, just not for.
Actually, I'm remaking it. I already made it once. And I forgot to send the paperwork into ATF, so I had to cut it up. My bad.
My bad, y'all.
Yeah, I had it all filled out here. I just forgot to send it into. And they came and did an inspection. It's like, why do you have this? Well, what do you mean? Why do I have it? Here's the fucking Form 4. They said, where's the approved form or Form 2? They said, where's the approved Form 2? Isn't that the approved one? No, no signature. Oh, fuck. I guess I forgot to send it in.
Whoopsie daisies.
Whoopsie.
I mean, do they like mess with you really hard when that happens, or?
They're not happy about it, but I got called onto the carpet,
Yeah.
about that, and they just said don't do it again. Bad
You know
boy.
what? So
Spank your pee-pee.
Spank the peepees. So I am going to, you know what I'll have to do? I'm going to play the video, but I'll have to read his description, because the description is like where he tells like everything that happened. And it's an important story. A lot of you guys may have heard it, but I'm going to play the video so you can see what happened to him, and also see the kind of artwork he was making. Hang on, I'll grab. Okay, videos. Let's see where it is, because I want you guys to be able to see full screen now. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I gotta unplug my headset so y'all can hear. Okay. And I'm going full screen, so I can't see chat. So if y'all are trying to talk to me, keep the change, you filthy animals. Just not for me. Yeah. But I want to know how to get on that 2-year list to make me a semi-auto one. All right, I'm starting it right now. So just so y'all know, this is him in his basement shooting a guitar with a full auto stin he made from a muffler. Okay, so while you see all this magic, woo, here's what the description says. The first gun, let me know if it's annoying for me to read this while it's going on. The first gun I ever built was a British Mark III Sten machine gun carbine 9mm, and it took me about 2 weeks to manufacture it. The only tools I had were a drill press, a die grinder, welder, and needle files. I made the receiver out of a muffler pipe from AutoZone, LOL. And I'm test firing it in my dad's basement in the first clip of this video. What led to the arrest? Months before all this had happened, I had taken some of my machine guns to West Virginia, what some people call the best Virginia, but I don't think that's true, to shoot and have fun with my uncle. And then decided when I went back to Ohio to just leave the guns for safekeeping with my uncle in West Virginia. Then while I was back in Ohio, my uncle got into a fight with someone while some girl was on the phone with 911. He fired my AK-47 in the air, and they heard it over the 911 call. So they rushed to the scene as my uncle was putting the guns in his trunk to get rid of them. They got him in the driveway with all my guns. And so that's when the ATF was called. Then he gave the ATF a videotape of him, on the video you were watching to prove that they were not his guns. And they said, he said, this is the guy you want. What a fucking snitch. Jesus. Where do we go? And it figures my luck, the headquarters of the ATF is, you got it, in West Virginia. Little did I know. The ATF traveled to Ohio, and U.S. Marshals from Washington, D.C. to where I was in northwestern Ohio. They watched my routine for 2 weeks. They watched me going to work. They watched me go to the restaurant every day before work. They watched me get off, and they watched me, and they had my phone tapped. They actually waited till I left for work one day to approach me, and they got me at the restaurant before work. My uncle called me to let me know what had happened and that they were listening. I had buried all that was illegal in one big hole in the ground. They said they would have never found the guns. The way I buried them, the ATF said they would have lasted 100 years. They had nothing on me if my uncle had not given them the videotape. When they told me they had the videotape, I broke down and started crying. I had to show them where the hole was, where everything was that I worked so hard for, everything, and it was gone in an hour. The ATF told me I had over $1 million worth of machine guns and firearms, over 40,000 rounds of ammunition, and I had $118,000 invested. And they even took my AK-47 history book. They took many sentimentals too, and everything in my dad's that was a gun or anything to do with a gun. The only gun I got to keep was a .44 Magnum revolver that was my dad's, and it exploded on me when I was 16. Not a piece of it hit me. I still have it to this day. The reason I didn't go to jail that day, because I had a perfect record and they found a little tiny bit of weed in my toolbox. Sounds funny, I know, but my uncle told them that I was suicidal and I would kill myself if they ever had taken my guns. But I'm not suicidal. I don't know why he told them that, but if they hadn't found the weed, I would have went to jail because they would have had to leave the legal guns there and take me to jail so I wasn't around my guns. I'll go back here. Sorry. I'll pull that down. Okay. So I wasn't around my guns. Where was it at? I had a lot of money in all my legal guns, and man, I had some super rare ones. But at least they can't take what's in my head. They can never take that. I haven't forgotten anything. And if anything, I've learned more since then. They told me I had done nothing wrong other than I didn't pay the tax stamps for the machine guns and suppressors that I had manufactured, which isn't true because he wouldn't be able to register post-86 machine guns. But what do they know? They only approve tax stamps. They actually were very impressed by my work. They said my silencers work better than any factory silencers you could buy legally. All in all, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it again. The very same thing, even knowing that I would get busted. I would still do it again. I had a lot of fun and learned a lot of good memories. Hell, I had more fun in my 20s than most people probably have in a lifetime. LOL. Just want to thank everyone for all the comments, good and bad. They mean a lot to me because seeing the good and bad comments shows me how many will be on the good side when shit hits the fan. God bless all of you. So he did agree to come on the show. I'm working on it. But, I mean, think about the skill level there. You know? I'm sure you could appreciate that.
No.
No?
No.
What was that?
A monkey can build a Sten. And he doesn't have enough brains to know if you're going to do something illegal. And I say all you want. I don't like the NFA. I don't think it should be a thing. But right now, it's the law of the land. If you're stupid enough to videotape yourself doing something illegal, you should, I mean, truly, I think you should be taken out and you should have a bullet put in the back of your head.
A lot of people in this day and age, especially in 2004, it was not as popular as it is now. Like nowadays, you literally have kids in Chicago on Snapchat, like Snapchatting their drive-bys. Like it's crazy. Most kids are idiots with, you know, devices that they're walking around recording everything with, especially everything that they do illegally. I know that's your Zelda tone.
Yeah.
That guy is a saint, like Ludi. Watch your mouth. I know. So here's the thing, guys. It's the same thing. Like the NFA is bullshit. Okay, fiat currency is bullshit. Everything that we have are wrapped up in this fucking consumer bullshit life. Banks, fucking government, like you name it. And You cannot refute the fact that right now that is the world that we are living in. So no matter who you are, you could scream, the NFA is unconstitutional. And if they kick down your fucking door, you're going to pound me in the ass prison. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Some people are willing to die for it. Like, I get that.
I mean, I have illegal shit in the shop. I always will. I'm a gunsmith. That's my fucking job.
Yeah.
You know, half the jobs I do, technically, in the middle of the job are illegal. ATF knows it. Everybody knows it. But as long as it's legal, when it goes out the door, we just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because, like, pinning a muzzle brake on a short barrel,
Yeah.
hey, that motherfucker's illegal to begin with. I don't know how many times people come in, oh, I need this muzzle brake pinned on my barrel so it's legal. And they come in with the whole thing all put together with the muzzle brake screwed on. That's illegal.
Yeah.
And I've had ATF come in and do an inspection with that shit sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, this isn't pinned. Yeah, that's one of the, read the fucking tag.
Yeah.
Pin muzzle brake. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me the next one.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't fucking take pictures of it and put it on the goddamn internet.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and we were stupid, we didn't go up to the cops and say, look, I'm doing something illegal. See. I mean, how stupid do you have to be?
Yeah. No, and to aid you, I agree. The Bill of Rights doesn't say anything about needing a license to prevent infringement.
No.
And I'm not saying that any of this is okay.
No, I'm not.
I vehemently disagree with it, and Hoff does as well.
You got to use your fucking head. Unless you really want to go get fucked in the ass by some big black guy named Bubba.
I picture
if you're into that, more power to you.
Well, lots of people are voting for the gay R-15, so you never know.
I just look at it. I avoid prison.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on going there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things that, sadly, fear of incarceration is what drives people to abide by unconstitutional edict.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. It is illegal. It is against the law of our land. And we either take action and make changes or we live in it.
Yeah. I mean, the NFA was in existence way before I was.
Yeah.
I
do believe that I should have lived in a different era, like a different time period. Because I should be making machine guns on a daily basis. And for all the alphabet soup boys, I am not, sadly. I don't have any machine guns. I don't have anything illegal in my home. And, good luck. Because it's just so much time and resources and money.
It's like when they come in to do an inspection. Do you have anything illegal here? Yeah, probably a bunch of shit. And that's what I tell them every time. Yeah, probably a bunch of shit. Well, where is it? All over the place? Find it. It's not my job to find it. You find it.
Yeah. How often do they do spot checks?
They're allowed to do them once a year. I went, 10 years without one?
Damn.
And then they came and did one, and it's like, oh, you're doing this paperwork wrong. What the fuck? Nobody told me. Oh, we changed that 3 years ago. Well, shouldn't you tell somebody?
Man.
And then they came, I think they came for 2 or 3 years in a row then.
I bet.
And then I haven't seen them in 4 years. I wish they'd come every year. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but if they came every year, it would be a lot easier to keep the shit straight.
So, are there any like hot ATF agents that come out and do inspections?
I don't get any of the hot ones.
Dang it. Yeah, I guess if they're coming from HQ, then I don't think there's a lot of hot girls in West Virginia. But I mean, Joe Morris and some others are likely to correct me. So, sorry, guys. I think Chuck Norris and Joe Morris. That's weird. Both live out there.
I mean, I had the one girl who was, she came down to do my initial inspection when I transferred my license from Ohio to Florida. And we stayed friends all those years. She ended up running the Orlando industry side office. And then she retired on me. God damn it, pissed me off. It's like, you're my girlfriend. You can't retire on me. You have to keep me safe. But she said she had to retire. I was mad.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's like that teacher that made an impact on you that, tells you you have to move on to middle school. And you're like, no, but I need you. Yeah. Loose lips sink ships. Yes, they do. And pressure bust pipes. I know it all. Yeah, I mean, at some point, you have to ask yourself, like, how much longer am I or are we? And I'm phrasing this as a question that some individuals may ask themselves. How much longer am I going to allow this shit to continue before, I or we take what is rightfully ours? And that's a question that each person has to answer independently. Everyone's got a line. And if you've had that conversation with yourself, then you know where that line is. But, every person is different, and they likely wouldn't sit there on a stream on YouTube with 50 people on it, with hundreds and hundreds of views impending, talking about when they would pick up their rifle and fight back.
No. I mean, I'll pick up my rifle and fight back when they take my ability to make a living away from me. And I've told them flat out, that's the line, period. Cross it, you're fucked.
Yeah. That's,
it's as simple as that. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me do my job. Come and do your inspections. I'm fine with that, I'm kind of interested to see one of the last inspections. I had a piece of tube cut to length for a suppressor. Mm-hmm. Hadn't threaded it. It was just a piece of tube I had cut to length. Oh, that's a suppressor. No, it's not. That's a suppressor. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Okay, show me it's a suppressor. I said, what gun do you want to put it on? I'll get, you want to put it on an Uzi? You want to put it on a 1022? What do you want to put it on? And I said, here's the tube. It was a piece of tube.
That's ridiculous.
Well, you've got to register that and engrave it as a suppressor. It's not done. It's not even threaded yet. I have no internals for it, nothing. You can't even mount it onto the damn gun. Well, you need to register it. And that was probably, I got to look it up, but it was probably like 8 years ago. That piece of tube is registered as a suppressor. It's still kicking around here in the exact same form they told me to register it in.
Oh my God, dude.
Because I've just never gotten around to building it.
Yeah.
So now they're starting to say, oh, well, if you wait too long, it's going to be an illegal suppressor or whatever. So I'm waiting for them to come and do an inspection and say, oh, you've got this, you haven't finished it. You told me to register it. I told you no, it wasn't a suppressor. But I did what you wanted me to do.
Yep.
Fuck off.
And then they'll come back and they'll change their mind.
Yep.
And this is the problem that I have. Now, and trust me, this is not my only problem, but this is where shit gets dangerous. Literally dangerous. And motherfuckers die. You know, look up Ruby Ridge and similar events if you have questions. When somebody in power says, this sentence is true, and then they put it in black and white, and then they say that this is true, this is true, this is true, this is true, print out their little fucking forms, update their website, this is true, and then they come back a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years later, whatever, and say, oh, remember that thing that we said was true? It's really not. So the stuff that you purchased as a result of us saying that this is true is now going to be all illegal. Sorry, but give it here. And that may be where some people's line is. Things that were purchased in good faith, legally, based off of my compliance that I already have a problem with. The proverbial eye. Right.
I get people who say, oh, did you have this product that you make? Did you send it to the ATF to get approval? No. Why the fuck would I do that? Well, you have to. No, I don't. There's nothing in the laws that says I have to do shit.
No. It's the same shit like when people...
And it's like, what's the fucking point? Because they're just going to change your goddamn mind down the road.
The ATF, the WHO, the CDC, all those fools are constantly changing their mind. And it is nauseating to me. But the biggest issue is the fact that, like, the ATF comes in and they say braces are legal. It is not a loophole. It is compliance. We are complying with your already draconian laws. And then they say, oh, never mind it. You can shoulder it. You can't shoulder it. You can have it. You can't have it. Those whole, they call them PMFs, privately manufactured firearms, home builds, that have been legal since the inception of this country are now likely going to be outlawed, which is just...
No, you just keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm 100%, and I have no problem saying this. I will continue building firearms at home. I will... You know what? I was going to say that I won't serialize them, but I think I may serialize every single one of them, and I may serialize it, fuck the ATF on all of them. Not fuck the ATF 1, fuck the ATF 2, fuck the ATF 3. Literally the same serial number on every single one and just have it say, fuck the ATF.
I mean, I get tired sometimes because every time they come in, it's a different story.
Yeah.
And, for the most part, I kind of don't play their games. It's like, this is what the fucking law says.
I catch that vibe from you.
Well, I don't give a fuck what here's what the fucking law says.
Yeah.
You want to get into a pissing contest? Fine. Let's go in front of a judge right now. You and I will drive down to the courthouse. We'll go in front of a fucking judge. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Or, I've had a couple of the agents, want to call the SWAT team on me twice. Fine, bring it on. You want to play that fucking game? Bring lots of goddamn body bags. Because there's going to be a lot of dead bodies.
Damn.
And, and I don't play nice like that. Because I have every intention, if they want to play that game, they are going to come into work the next day, and there's going to be a bunch of heads from ATF agents sitting on their front stoop.
Damn. We just got turned into Holy shit, based body bag boomer.
You know,
Yeah. We just
I am,
turned
you
into
know,
extremists
you know,
right in this moment.
yeah. I mean, if I get into a pissing contest with somebody like that, I'm going to make them fucking pay. And I'm going to make the next person realize we don't want to fuck with him.
Well, dude, I mean, like, think of all the knowledge and information just like rattling around in your head. No matter what they take from you or somebody like you, just like Adam Grubb, what we were talking about,
Yeah.
they can never take what you have up here and what you're able to do. And like at the end of every stream, when I say like, practice violence, exercise violence responsibly and, with discipline and be the most dangerous motherfucker that you possibly can be. I mean, that's more about like up here than it is about like equipping yourself, because the shit that you equip yourself with, the guns that you go buy, when those are gone, you're left with what you can do, what you can build, what you can create, whether it's firearms, knives, explosives, or anything like that. And I'm not advocating, and I know I could speak for the Hoff, that I and we are not advocating for anyone to do anything. It's just
Oh no, I'm just talking myself, what I'm going to do. If you want to get in a pissing contest with me, I play for keeps. And, your family's not going to want to have an open casket. That's for goddamn sure. There won't be enough pieces for a casket.
Damn, John Rice said the AFT kicked his door in once. Damn, that's one visit that I hadn't gotten, but
Well, I had an ATF agent come here, and I was gone, and my wife was with me, and he started threatening my kids.
Yeah, I
saying he was going to come with the SWAT team and all this shit. Yeah. That's when I called his boss and I said, have him show up at my house again. You make sure he has a body bag, and you might want to just send Ziploc bags, because that's how you're going to get him back. And if he's lucky, I won't go kill his family first and make him watch. I said, that's bullshit. He threatened my fucking kids. I will end him and his entire fucking bloodline. And I told that to the head of, the Orlando ATF law enforcement branch. And he's like, well, you can't say that. I said, I just did. What are you going to fucking do? I said, you want to send that dickhead here again? I said, keep him away from me. We don't have a fucking problem. I'd like an apology for him threatening my kids. It's the least you owe me. But I said, I'm not going to come down to your office and kill him in front of you. I should, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be the bigger man.
Walter P380 says, I think Hoff is really from West Virginia.
No, just close by.
Yeah. Well, dude, I love having you on. You're real as shit. You're authentic as shit. And you can build machine guns like I build semi-auto Glocks. So you got to love that shit.
Oh, yeah. I have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of clickbaity for me to put how to build a machine gun, but we did actually talk about how specifically to build several machine guns in this.
Yeah.
But this is just for entertainment and educational purposes. I always like to understand how things work. And when I worked at a gun shop back in the day, it was in 07, 02. And, we had machine guns all over the place. And obviously, like cans, SBRs, SBSs, AOWs, like DDs, the whole nine. And I was under the impression, and the shop was under the impression, that an agent of the shop can possess demo guns. Like, let's say you were going to run and go to your house that you could leave the shop and bring the demo gun with you if you were an agent of the shop.
Yeah.
Is that true?
If you're an employee of the shop, you can.
Okay.
You either have to be on the license as a responsible person, I think they call it, or you have to be a paid employee of the business.
Yeah. So we would literally like be like, hey, you want to take the HK 416 home today? Like, yeah, I want to take it out and, run some rounds through it. And you want to take the Mac with you? Like, I was ripping a 380 Mac, like, crazy, which those are actually pretty fun. If you guys have never fired a suppressed 380, oh my God, they're like the best round not the best round. It is an excellent round to suppress.
They're fun.
It's like 900 feet per second out of a massive can. Like, and I was getting them from Ruben the Cuban.
Yep.
In the bags, man, like brand freaking new. But those were the days when they were $32.99.
I remember when they were $75.
Man, see, that's the era that I was supposed to live in. When I could go get a full auto Mac for under $100. Oh man!
And a Colt M16 was $100 cheaper than the exact same Colt AR-15.
What?
Yep.
What?
The full autos were $100 cheaper than the semi-auto. If you took, because they made the same variant, one semi-auto, one full auto. Full auto was $100 cheaper. Nobody wanted them.
Dude,
I can't afford to feed that fucking thing. I'll take the semi-auto.
Yeah. I love the people that are like, full auto in combat just really doesn't serve any application. You really use semi-auto more. That, like, dude, if I could have the option, like, why the hell would I not be to keep heads down? Like, bro, I would take that all day. So for all you people that are like, you don't really believe that a machine gun does not have an application in battle or any type of combat situation. Like, come on. Like, you're just saying you don't want to spend $30,000 on a machine gun. Yep. It's okay.
Well, people need to learn how to shoot a freaking machine gun.
Yeah.
You just don't pull the trigger and hold it until it's out of ammo.
Yeah.
You can do bursts, you can pull singles.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
They are capable of doing that.
3 to 5 rounds. Wow. Target acquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now granted, there's some like the micro Uzi that's not capable of doing it, Yeah.
It's like, I could just picture just like if someone took like a handful of 9mm projectiles and just like threw them and they all kind of spread out all over the place.
Yeah,
that's what
I really don't know what the practicality of those is, except clearing phone booths, and there's no such thing as phone booths anymore. So you
know what? They should make phone booths with like a whole setup exactly like a phone booth was, but just have like 2 phone chargers, like an Android charger and an Apple charger. That actually is a good idea. Somebody remind me of that idea. Dude, every single time we have a guest on the show, we give them the ability to, or the honor, to name the stream.
I thought you already did.
I did, but so then I'll give you the choice. So right now, the stream is named I'm kidding. Oh my God! It did! It got the... Oh, God damn it! We were doing so well.
That was me.
I'm going to guess...
I went on a rant.
Yeah. God, that's so crazy. Due to ad suitability. Yeah, you're only going to be able to put Walking Dead ads and ball shaver ads on this shit. Like, trust that. So right now It is named DLD After Dark, number 78, How to Make a Machine Gun, Full MF Auto Magic, Dark and the Hoff. You could opt to keep that
Works for
name
me.
or change it. Okay. All right.
Works
You
for
got
me.
it. So I'll keep that. So you're feel free. Let everyone know where to find you, how to make you all warm and fuzzy, and we'll go from there.
All righty. I'm all warm and fuzzy. You can reach me pretty much on all the social medias. It's all whatever variation of BWE firearms they made me use. You can go to my website at BWE Firearms. Emails Richard at BWE Firearms. That's about it. I'm on all the social medias, I think.
Like every single one of them. I dropped down one of your.
Yeah, there's a crap load of them.
Yeah. And
I've got all my videos on, Odyssey and all this. So who cares if YouTube takes my channel down? It's all places.
Yeah.
I am all around.
I'll tell you what. If they haven't taken me down, you got some time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have some shit in my video library that, would be cause for some attention. Okay, so they can find you anywhere and everywhere. And pro tip, if you look really hard, you may be able to find BWE's phone number and contact the Hoff himself.
Oh, yeah. You can go onto my website and get my phone number.
Yeah, hit him up, talk about...
I won't give it out, I'm going to make you look it up first.
Yeah, you got to look it up. And if you're going to call him, you have to do a reverse search on his information and find out one fun fact. If you don't give him a fun fact about him, when you call, he's not going to talk to you.
I never thought about that. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, right? They got to actually put some work into it. Okay, we got some more people voting. That's awesome. Thank you. I'll do this, just a quick little shout out. Obviously, JSD Supply, man, they've been awesome, huge friends of the channel, and shout them out all the time because, man, they have just, the lowest prices for the best American-made shit for Glocks, for P80s, for P80 Glocks, 80% SIGs, 80% 1911s, 3D printed completion kits, like everything you could think of is on there for stupid low prices. Like Glock slides for $129. After the code, you got to use code DARK. You get money off and free shipping. And yeah, man, just support them. If you're building something and you're price checking shit, check there because JSD Supply is hands down the best place to get inexpensive, good quality, 80% completion kit shit. So do that. Also, check us out on Black Swan Tactical. That's John Crump's website. We got our Blue Chem Light patches. All the regular ones are sold out, but the glow-in-the-dark ones are still available. They do glow blue. So if you see that blue chem light in the top corner of the screen, that's exactly what it is. And it is so dope. So if you don't want to get canoed by a glowy during the boog, then get one. And also, if you look up Glowies PX, so Glowies, like GLOWIES, px.bigcartel.com. That's where you will find all of our gear, including, but not limited to, hold on, now I got to pull it up because it's just so freaking cool. And now that we're talking about machine guns, let's just bring it all the way. Let's bring it full circle. Hold on. One sec. So I haven't actually worn it for a full day. I've only worn it for a couple streams. But this is our, let me see, there we go. This is one of my favorite shirts that we have, but clearly it's safe because it is a semi-auto key card shirt. So it says it. It says semi. See? See? Semi. And it's a cartoon drawing of one. So for all the federales out there, all the, as we call them, the alphabet soup boys, it's not an exact drawing. Like, it's not exact specs. So, or is it? I'm just kidding. It's literally a cartoon drawing of it. So the store is only going to be open for a little bit. We're basically going to cycle through every single month. We got the glowy shirt. We got the glowy pullover hoodie. What seems to be most popular, the glowy hat. And also aside from the semi-auto key card shirt, which is my favorite, the first one I got myself. The glowy pillow, like, dude, this is the next thing I'm getting because it, like, just to have a glowy pillow that is half woodland camo with glowies and half Ameriflage with glowies, like, that's just the coolest thing to me. And shout out to Sport Brand for designing all this shit. If there are any other YouTube content creators out there that are looking for someone to partner with on merch, hit us up because, like, he did all this shit. And yeah, I'm like eternally grateful for him. He's awesome. So, do a BWE cap. You want to put some BWE gear on my on the Glowy store?
Oh, I don't have any gear.
Well, we can make it for you for free. We'll design it for you.
Yeah, I don't care.
If you guys out there request it, we will do it, and we'll make it part of our next collection, and we'll just put fucking badass Uzis all over shit. Lego Man. He said, "What's BWE?" It's big wet erection. No, I'm kidding. Big white erection. BWE is Hoff's company, BWE Firearms. And you had said what BWE stands for at some point, right?
Yep. Every once in a while, I say what it's about. I won't today.
You won't today. Next time.
I'll make them watch the next one.
There we go. Armitage says, disclaimer, not responsible for damages or legal issues arising from stuffing shirt into a rifle. Yes. Rod Brown, a BWE collection is coming. Hell yeah. What we have to do... Oh, he's already designing shit for you. That's awesome. See, this is how our community gets down, man. You guys fucking rock. The best community I could ever ask for. Aside from, Hoff saying he's going to forever sleep a bunch of ATF agents, we would have been pushed out.
They don't have to be only ATF agents.
You don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate, They can be feds, they can be local cops, they can be just Joe citizen. I don't care. I hate everybody.
So Sir 25 says, do a 1980s Miami Vice style Uzi patch like Hotline Miami. Can never get enough of those. That's a dope idea.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of tiny Uzis to look like the sprinkles on your donut shirt. I think you were talking about that. That'd be cool. A big donut, like Toxic Patch Code donut with Uzi sprinkles all over it. That'd be pretty cool. Although I would feel like I was like kind of stealing his thunder, So, dude, Hoffman, you rock, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
Let's do it again sometime soon.
All righty. Sounds good.
All right, brother. Y'all, thank you for coming in. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Be safe. Be dangerous. And remember, every time I end the stream, I say this. Be kind. Be a good person. Live a caring, compassionate life. Exercise violence in a responsible way. And just be the most dangerous motherfucker that you can be. Y'all take it easy.
And don't let your morning wood go to waste.
Ever. Ever. Peace, y'all.